I have been wanting to make these bloomers that I've been seeing online for a while. They're not that expensive. They're expensive for me. As someone who thrifts, anything over like $15, I really have to think about. But they're like $125 from Free People. But I don't know if they're gonna be something I'm gonna love for forever, first of all. And second of all, I'm trying to make things as sustainably as I can right now. For the past couple of years, that's kind of been my goal when making my own clothes. They look so fun and they're a little bit historically inspired. And isn't that just everything that I want my closet to be? So I've been wanting to make them for a while. And I thought that these bloomers would actually be perfect for a thrifted bedsheet. That's what we're gonna attempt to do this week. I'm going to try to semi-recreate. I'm definitely gonna change a couple of things, but semi-recreate these viral Free People bloomers out of a thrifted bedsheet that I think was like $20, so $100 off. Let's get started. I found this floral thrifted fitted sheet on Etsy, and I try my best not to buy fitted sheets because you have to do this extra step of taking off this elastic. But since this was a pretty old sheet, it actually wasn't that difficult. But I was getting pretty sick in these clips, so I immediately had to stop and come back another day when I was feeling better. And after folding it in half, I knew this was going to be a tight fit. Now the pattern I'm using is called the Lane pant, which is a pretty popular pattern. And I really love it because I think you can use it for several different styles of pants and change the pattern pretty easily. But you can also use any drawstring pant pattern that you might already have, and you won't have to make many changes to make it into a pair of bloomers. First, I made them a bit shorter because I didn't need these to go down to the ground, and that would save me some yardage. And I want these to sit a bit lower on me, so I'm not going to cut out a waistband, which is good because I didn't have room for it anyway. I probably should have added another inch to the waist here just to make sure that it was high enough at the back specifically, but I forgot to do that. Also, to save some space, when I made this pattern the first time, they were a bit large on me, so I also slimmed them down just a bit. The rest of the pieces were a tight fit. I even had to cut my pocket into 2 pieces, which is the first step of sewing that I'm gonna do. Now, bloomers historically didn't have pockets, but I need all my pants to have pockets, so we're keeping it from the original pattern. Then I started putting the pants together according to the original pattern. The pattern has you add this top stitching if you would like to for extra security, which I always do. I have a nightmare that I will accidentally split my pants at the crotch because I didn't add these. Instead of the pattern's waistband, I'm going to make a waistband at the top of the waist here. So I started by finishing off the top edge and ironing it down onto the right side so that it will be hidden in a later step. I always like when there's a bit of elastic with a drawstring waist, but I won't be able to fit it into the waistband that I have planned. So instead, I just zigzag stitched over that thin elastic that I made to fit loosely around my waist and stitched it onto the wrong side of the fabric where it wouldn't show on the outside, because this is going to be covered with this lace that I found. At center front, I turned under the lace. That's going to be the opening for one side of the drawstring, so I stitched along the top all the way around until I got to the other side of the center front. Trimmed the lace and turned it under again. I left a gap in the middle of this trim so that the drawstring could fit, and then I stitched along the bottom edge, and this will give a tunnel for that drawstring. Next, it was time to create my drawstrings. I cut out one full-length drawstring, and then I cut out another one and cut that in half for the leg portion. These were not quite long enough. I probably needed at least another 6 inches more for each if you're planning on doing this for yourself. Then I scrunched that through the waistband, which with the lace that I had specifically picked with these holes in it, that was not fun, and it took me a while. Then it was time for the other big change from the original pattern, which is that bottom gathered section. I didn't think at this point that I would like the added lace as that bottom ruffle, and instead I thought I would like it more aesthetically if it was just the same fabric all the way down. So I trimmed off a little bit more so that it would be around ankle length and hemmed that. Then I wanted this bottom ruffle area to be about 6 inches long, so I took my ruler and marked that line, and then used that as the guide for the bottom of my lace. And now I'm going to do the same steps that I did for the waistband, locating the opening for the drawstring at the outside seam of each leg. Finally, I wanted just a bit more detail, so I added that lace trim to the bottom of the hem as well. And with that, it's time to show you the final result. These are so unique yet really comfy. In fact, sometimes I think when I look at them, do these look a little bit too much like pajama pants? And I think that will honestly have everything to do with styling, and I don't know if I styled these 100% correctly. But regardless, these are pretty simple to put together. I like how you don't specifically need a pattern for bloomers to make bloomers, and I really love the fabric choice and the lace. It all looks so cutesy and different. My only thing that I might do in the future is take out that bottom ruffle and actually go back and put in like a 6-inch lace at the bottom. I don't know how I feel about that right now. I have another pair of pants that I think I'm going to flip into a pair of bloomers, and I'll try it on that and see how I feel. That will be in a future video, by the way. But generally, I'm really happy with how these turned out, and this is such a one-of-a-kind addition to my closet. That's gonna be it for me this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, and then also liking and commenting help me out, and then also click the bell for notifications so that you will always see things from me. That's my dog running throughout the house. I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you back here. He's also squeaking his toy. I hope to see you back here next time. Bye.